See, we started with a computer mindset, right? We initially, when Apple and Microsoft has launched, they launched a computer system, and the computer system has few components, as we know, right? Any computer will have certain things. It will have a CPU, it will have a memory, RAM and ROM, generally like volatile and non-volatile, and then you'll have a disk. Then the concept of disk came. Then now there are solid state drive, SSD has come, right? So things have evolved in terms of the hardware, and then graphics card and a lot of other things came, right? So it started evolving, and initially people used to have this 128 MB of RAM. Now these days, like default laptop comes with 8 GB or maybe 16 GB by default, and then that you can increase it to 32, 64 or whatever. So, and in terms of the where we have reached, we have supercomputers as well, right? So we have supercomputers which can do computation. If you don't know what supercomputers, do read about it. IBM has it. There are many companies, and also there are many Heltec and other organizations have it, and they use supercomputers for doing some intensive computations at micro and nano and whatnot level, right? So we did evolve in terms of hardware, right? And what we could achieve with these smaller footprint of memories and machines, now we can achieve a lot in terms of the computations and IO operations and concurrency and whatnot with higher dimensions of the machine. So initially the server also used to be like this, right? So if you get the server means a computer, you get a very small. Now you can get a pretty big. You can have a quad core processor. So even CPU used to have a single core processors. Now that has been come to like quad, octa, and a few other as well. So we did evolve from from a basic computing to pretty advanced computing. But in terms of the demand also, it increased a lot. Just assume, or not assume, just think that when you started your phone, we used to have this Nokia phone and mobile phone. You used to have very small games and normal things where you can do a calculation and all that. It required hardly 100 MB or what to run just those applications. Now even 128 GB is not sufficient. Why? Because we have tons and tons of apps, tons and tons of operations, features. It's loaded with those things, and it needs more and more memory. It needs even those kind of memory also starts becoming pretty less during the peak usage, right? So as our hardware increased, the quality of hardware, the advancement has happened in the hardware, our requirement have also increased. The websites, you see how responsive these websites these days, right? How aesthetically they have been designed, how interactive they have become, how analytical it has become. And the more the more advancement you put, the more hardware computation and the more network bandwidth it will be required, right? So this required that, okay, fine, we can definitely increase our server capacity to certain extent, to some extent, that okay, we'll be using the bigger hardware dimensions and everything. But there is a limit to it as well, right? As you grow in size, and also you purchase a bigger dimensions hardware, you need to pay more and more. So that was one of the issue that that your machine I'm sorry. So it needs to run suppose 4 applications. So either you have to basically use 4 servers, right? And in those 4 servers, you will have like suppose 8 GB of RAM, then 1 terabyte of hard disk. Similarly, 8 GB of RAM, 1 tera of hard disk, and all that. And sometimes it used to have that one VM is I should not come to the VM now. So one server or one computer is using to a good capacity that is getting utilized by 80%. Another is just getting utilized only 10%, right? And that is lying. There is no way we can use that, leverage this particular remaining 90%. I mean, there was no technology that time. And you could just go ahead and purchase a computer, set up, and would install your applications here, and the another one on this, and there's nothing you can do. There's no way you can basically leverage this 90% bandwidth, which is being underutilized by the other servers. So these were the reasons that the idea popped up, and then the VM was born. So VMs are like virtual machines. Okay, so the virtual machine concept came in that, okay, fine, you will have a real physical system. Okay. Okay. You will have a physical server, maybe provided by HP or IBM or Dell, right? So they provide these physical machines. You might have seen a rack kind of system where there will be racks and connected to wire and all that, right? So if you have been to any of your lab, like in your organization, you could just they will be kept in any data centers basically, right? Any data centers you go, you can go and check it. Like I have been to the NOC centers for Airtel and seen that data stores, they are kept in kind of a cold storage kind of places, and you have to get 3 or 5 layers of security approvals. You have to wear that PPE kit kind of thing, and then a lot of other procedures are there. So they are kept in pretty isolated place and very secure place, these physical servers. And then what happens is they said that, okay, fine, these are the physical servers. What I'll do is I'll try to make and break, basically I'll try to break into multiple small virtual machines or virtual servers. Actually, that is not a real server. These are the real server, which is actually hard disk machines and everything are there. But these 4 will act as a 4 different machines, 4 different servers. It will act like that. Okay. So for outside, there will be 4 IPs, 4 different IPs connected to network, different interfaces. It will have their own memory granted to it, own CPU percentage, own RAM percentage to all 4 of it. And the internal server will remain as it is. Now, in order to achieve this, there was a software which was needed, and which is called the hypervisor. Okay. So these hypervisors are basically a set of applications, a set of softwares which sits on top of the host OS. We called it as a host operating system. So you have a Windows, you have a Linux, you have a Mac OS, whatever, right? So you basically have that host OS. On top of it, you install the hypervisor. Now, who are these companies? Hypervisor are generally VMware, right? Even Citrix has few of these, Xenex and this one. Therefore, Xenap and few more are there. There are a few other companies as well, but veteran is VMware. So that is why they're even named as VM, I guess. But they are the main player in the market for hypervisor, and they provide these softwares where you can do the virtual servers management, and it provides a lot of other features. They have something called ESM and some other softwares. You can just go and get the list of products which is given by VMware, and they have a lot more these days because of the cloud and all, but they are basically master in providing the hypervisor softwares. Okay, so you have a host OS, you install the hypervisor on top of it, and then you can basically configure and create how many ever of VMs you want. Of course, there will be a limitation based on your host operating system. It is 8 GB. You should not have more than 2 or 3 virtual machines, and you should be good. So what kind of problem it has solved? So VMware, when it came in, it solved a problem that now at least you can utilize same machine with the same with multiple applications. The boot time has increased drastically, because it is faster compared to the host OS. So it is also faster in terms of provisioning a system. So in order to if VMware if virtual machine was not there, what you could do, you have to again procure a hardware, again set up, bring it in under interface, network interface, set it along with this, then install all the binary dependencies, operating system, and then install operating system, then it will. So it's a long process. But if host OS is already there, all you need is just spin up a particular virtual machine. So how many of you, the question is to you guys, how many of you have used virtual machines on your computer, on your laptop? What software do you use for that? Anybody? They have installed Ubuntu, the famous Ubuntu on their laptop.
VirtualBox I used.
Yes, VirtualBox. Oracle VM is also there, right? And what do? So we have operating system, Windows operating system. We install something like VirtualBox, or we install Oracle VM, and then we go there and we say that, okay, I want to create a VM, and there will be some steps that how much memory and RAM, and then you just do that, and then it will say that, okay, what is the image of the operating system, the VM operating system? You put it. It'll hardly take 2 to 3 minutes or 5 minutes. It will take maximum 5 to 10 minutes, and your new operating system, the virtual operating system, the virtual machine is ready to use. And once you get inside that, it is like a brand new machine, completely different from your host machine. Correct? All of you, I think most of you might have used it, right? Anybody haven't used it? Any kind of virtual machines, either in organization or in your laptop? Okay, Amar, do you want to say something? I see you are unmuted.
They are using Citrix, sir.
Okay, yeah, Citrix as well. Yes, that's right.
No, Deepak, that's fine. I'm sorry.
Okay, so so that's about it, right? So you basically install the operating system on top of it, and then you're good to go, correct? So that solved a problem to a great extent, and that was like a revolutionary idea when it came in early 2000 or so. And people they accepted it with both hands, and they said, "Fine, we'll go with it." Even in fact, in the cloud world as well, it helped a lot. Till today, we use virtual machines to a great extent. I mean, extensively, I would say. Still, okay. In any organization, we are still using in our organization. We have used in past as well, and still, even AWS and Azure also uses virtual.